are two separate ways that we could support those who are seeking help and need help. One are the formal channels, right? That's what I'm talking about here. Those institutions and organizations and financial measures and safety nets that can get you out of a terrible situation and start a new chapter of healing in your life. And then there's the informal ones, right? And Samara talked about that, the kindness of friends, the kindness of strangers. Those informal supports right now, whether they were faith groups or women's groups or work, those informal safety nets are not as active. So something that every Canadian can do right now, you instinctively probably can think of a few people who are vulnerable. You know, you may not be able to go see them in person always, but you can check in on them. Don't let the abuser for a moment think that she is alone and that she is forgotten and that she has no lifeline. Just keep an eye on people. And I think that not only is it powerful in that it provides somebody who is feeling desperate and alone that hope and that connection, it also sends a signal to the abuser that we're watching you and that you don't get away with the horrible things that you may be doing.
And if I may just add to that, is that I can't stress enough the importance of hope, because yes, you can have all the institutional support and all the shelters and everything, but if you're not even inside of you feeling confident enough to reach out, if you're feeling scared to the point that you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the hope, you feel like you're going to be rejected by other people, including your family, those are the biggest barriers. If you're not even going to reach out, then all those institutions can be there. But if the women that need them the most are not feeling confident enough and safe enough to reach out, then that's a big problem. And to that, I'd also add the importance of knowledge and awareness of your rights, of what is out there. Knowledge is power. So one of the things, for example, that I've started right now is a weekly connection circle, like a webinar that I do every Monday to talk about different things that are available and different knowledge bases that need to be imparted in the pandemic. For example, I've had a couple of family lawyers talk about how family law is affected by domestic violence and what kind of supports are there. I've had a CEO of a shelter last week to talk about safety planning. Next week, I'm going to have somebody talk about the role of male allies, and I'm really pleased to say, Mark, thank you for agreeing. He's going to come on and talk about shelter movers and moving services. But it's really to create a knowledge base for women, and all these episodes that I'm doing are then put up on YouTube to create this free awareness tool. So sometimes those little things that you see, for example, for me, I was in university, I saw a sign with a bunch of questions that had like, do you feel intimidated? Do you feel like you've lost your voice? Do you feel like you can't go on? Come in and talk to us. And just being able to go and talk and learn and hear from somebody that it's not your fault and you deserve better. That's what externalized everything for me. It made it like, oh my God, this isn't my fault. There's a name for this. It's abuse. And I deserve better. And that started the whole chain reaction of getting knowledge. And ultimately, that is what gave me my power back and the courage to leave. So that is most imperative right now.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I am a child survivor, and even just understanding and being able to acknowledge I am a survivor, and that when I was able to start to speak about my experience, I understood that I was not alone, that the things that I was experiencing and feeling as a young person, which I had chalked it up to, I'm a bad girl, I'm a bad person, I am doing bad things. I struggled with addiction. I struggled and was, dropped out of school at grade 10. And I never, ever really thought for a second that this could be related to what was happening in my household growing up. I just thought that I was literally bad. And now, as I stand before you as someone who's done a lot of work in healing and also working with my mom to heal each other and our relationship together, and a successful person, I think that that's such important information, because it is the lack of confidence that keeps us in situations that aren't good for us. And often it is ancestral, meaning we've watched our own parents go through it, and then we repeat the pattern ourselves by finding ourselves in a situation that is abusive. And I have experienced all of the above. So sometimes we normalize behavior because it's been seen time and time again in our homes. And what I think is so imperative that you're saying, Samara, is that we are in this together. There are resources, there is information. If any of this is resonating with anyone that's listening right now, you are not to blame, you are not alone, and there are people who love and care for you, and they may not even have met you yet, and they're there because our shared experience unites us. And I think that that's so important to say. We don't